Okay, folks, you know a vehicle is dope looking when you start from the back. And this is a 2020 Lincoln Aviator Reserve. And I just love the looks of this vehicle. And I'm kind of like proud because it is a domestic brand. And in the past, I feel like Lincoln has kind of let us down with some of these Hearst looking designs. But this is definitely a very dope looking SUV. I always love quad exhaust. I love this silver paint color. It looks super dope, especially combined with the chrome trim and these whiteout, rear tail lights. The wheels are massive on this SUV. So this thing is rocking 20-inch wheels. It is a mid-size SUV. And I think these are apropos for this vehicle. So you're not going to try to have like boy racer, racy wheels. These look very stately, classy, and luxurious, and they're in line with what you see on the Navigator. I mean, this vehicle is a good size. So this is a very long mid-size SUV, but you can tell it's not a crossover. It's not trying to be a little cutesy car-like vehicle. You definitely have some weight, some class, some luxury. I love how it says Aviator there. I love the turn signal accents and the black caps on the rear view. On the side mirrors. I love the rail at the top, and you even have some fins at the top. And yeah, this is the front of the vehicle. So this is a very, very squared off vehicle. It has like smooth, edges, but it does have lines that make it not boring, not basic looking. And it looks like it has good width as well. It sits up, so it's not super low slung, but it is a little bit swoopy. So I'm here for that. I like that you have, this orange indicator on the side here. I love that you do have this chrome piece here. It's kind of reflecting the pavement, so it looks black, but it's chrome. It's a tasteful use of chrome here and here. I would even like the chrome strip here that they use. I would love that, but I can live with these body colored door handles. And so, yeah, there is not a bad angle on this vehicle. And it's kind of like a better looking and more shapely QX60, if I'm being honest. So actually, I want to start in the back and get this tailgate open here. Okay, so it is an automatic tailgate, and there is a button on the tailgate. But looking back here, I love the gray interior here. It's very monotone, but I'm here for it, honestly. You don't have a ton of space back here, and it is a little bit lifted, but it's a decent amount of space. And you have your subwoofer there. You have your LED lighting here. You can let the seats down here. I'll show you that in a second. You have some anchors here. You have this charge port right here, which in most all SUVs, you're going to have the traditional cigarette lighter charge port, which is dope. But since it is a luxury vehicle, I love that you have one touch to put the seats down. I think that's incredibly dope. And to let the second row down, you just pull this lever, which I love. And we'll see what it looks like with all back rows down. So a ton of space. So this gives you a lot of utility. I mean, this is such a nice SUV though that I wouldn't be, tossing the tarp in and loading sod or, soil and tree bark and stuff every day. But you can certainly do that if you like. And I think this is a good SUV. If you have a growing family, you have 3-4 kids, this is a good size. Or you have some grandkids that, you kind of need a little bit of extra flexibility without hopping in a minivan and being uncomfortable for an extended amount of time. Not that minivans are uncomfortable, but if you're an empty nester with grandkids, it's a different feel. So anyway, let's take a look at this. The door handles are big, and they do have a little indentation that you press so you can open the vehicle, and kind of feels like these might be automatic a little bit. So let's see how that... No. Okay. And this door is like all gray, and almost all gray. And sometimes I get on Volkswagen for looking Teutonic, but this just looks like luxury. This is a creamy gray. Everything's soft touch. This is soft touch. This is soft touch. I love this black inlay and this metallic speaker grille. I'm here for the chrome accenting around here. This buttonry feels good. This is a 2-step button, so you can go half and just let the window down part ways and kind of blip it like this, or press it all the way down and then it's going to let the window down automatically. Again, these black inlay and speaker grills are a very, very nice touch, especially with the chrome. So this interior is well executed, and I love that. So we're gonna go ahead and hop in the back seat. All right, so to let these seats back up, you just press the center button once. And I absolutely love that. All right, so I love the fact that you can just press a button here and the seat goes forward. Obviously, if the front seat is up a little bit more, you have more space to get in the back, but there's not gonna be a ton of room back here. So there are some levers here and there to kind of let these seats down. I like that the back of them are carpeted, and this carpet feels really good on the back of these, but it's gonna be a chore getting in and out of this back seat. Like if you're a flexible kid with small feet, it's fine. But like honestly, like this back seat could be for shorter adults. So, you know, you can make this a 7-seater, but you know, it's not the most comfortable. So preferably like maybe 5 adults, 2 kids kind of thing. But you know, you'll kind of figure that out as you go. And one other thing I will point out is that, you know, people who are entering your vehicle are going to have to get used to this little lever back here, because a lot of times with these type of doors, people think you just pull the door and the handle separates a little bit from the door to open it, and you have to press this button and gently pull. So you want to make sure people are mindful of that. Sometimes with luxury vehicles, there's these little niche things that you got to kind of know, and when you don't know, they can tear your vehicle up. So we're gonna hop in here, and there is a rail for this seat, and so this is as far back as it goes. And so this is my leg room back here. So this is kind of like what happens with luxury vehicles. So you see all the seating, and it looks good. Like the appointment is nice. This leather feels comfortable. These aren't super bolstered, but they're not super slick either. And so you're not gonna slide out of these. I like the perforated leather here. You could fit 3 adults across. You know, this doesn't go back any further, so it would have to be a very small adult. I mean, this is gonna be at best a 6-seater for adults. Again, there's a rail here. You can slide the seat back, but again, it's not a ton of leg room back here. So I gotta be honest with you, like an Atlas or a Telluride or a Palisade are gonna offer a little bit more interior volume. Even though this vehicle is like the same size and heavier, your charging port appointments are good. USB-A, USB-C. This is a 2020, and you have the house port. That's a pretty standard setup here. And then you have HVAC controls here. These vents are kind of tiny, so hopefully the air is like pushed out pretty forcefully. You have a little screen here when the vehicle's on that you can control that with, so that's super dope. I like that these seats have a hard backing, but it is padded a little bit, and you have your luxurious mat pockets back here. Now they're actually called tablet pockets, because when I was a kid we had Atlases, but now you have tablets, so that's pretty dope. But you know, if you are a larger person or you're going to be carrying adults back here, I mean, you might opt for like a Tahoe or something like that, or a Wagoneer, you know, if you want more room and you want to kind of keep it rugged. So just saying, these doors feel really good, luxurious, you know, well insulated and everything like that. I love the color of these wheels. On the inside, they have this gray, this titanium gray metallic color. That looks super dope. They're not just filled with like matte black paint. So please keep that in mind. These wheels are A1. Love them. You have this Lincoln kick plate here that also illuminates. I love that. This is the front passenger seat here. You do have automatic seats here. They're doing it Mercedes style. You don't have as many adjustments, but I still like the design of this door. We'll walk over to the driver's seat. Here's another look at the front. I love the grille on the Lincoln. I love the creases in the hood, and we'll take a look at that engine underneath here in just a moment. And this does have a 3-liter V6 engine, by the way. It is 4-wheel drive, so I love that. But stepping in here, you definitely know you're in a luxury vehicle. And one thing I like about American luxury is pretty simple and straightforward. So even though these vents are a standard design, they're accented in a luxurious way. You know, this is nice. You have the rubber here, you have the piano black here, the chrome outlining there, automatic headlights, your dimmer switch for the instrument cluster, and then you also have good placement for the tailgate opener. Obviously, you open the trunk that way. You do not have a manual e-brake. It's 2020. You should not. The e-brake is actually right here. This is a nice cubby. This is good placement for the cup holders. If you own a Lexus for 2020, the cup holder placement is horrible. And that's what I always think about when I get in luxury vehicles. I like the chrome accenting here. I do not like capacitive buttons where they light up and show you what they are when the vehicle cuts on. But it looks cool at night, and it looks cool when you're sitting in the vehicle. You do have 360 camera arrays, ways to kind of select, you know, your angles. And what I didn't point out is there are cameras in the side mirrors. So that's how you get the 360 view. And that's how most manufacturers do it. So we will hop back in. This is a tilting and telescoping steering wheel, and you do have paddles in here. This looks a little bit more traditional. This is a Bluetooth thing here. Your start stop is right up here. I like this design. I mean, this looks a little tacked on, but this trim gives it a nice kind of framing or framework. I love the use of chrome here. This is very, very straightforward. People think this looks dumb and it looks kind of bulbous. I love this. The dash does kind of bow out a little bit, but it doesn't like intrude too much on the cabin. This is soft touch. I love the stitching in here. This is soft touch. You know, you have a speaker here. And so everything looks good in here. Your hazard lights are well marked. I really do like this vehicle. And so this screen is contrasty, and you know, the paddles here feel good. Same thing with these buttons, like, so your cancel and resume, you know, buttons for your cruise controller right here. And so these things are going to light up when the vehicle's on, which again, I'm not a huge fan of, but I love the contrast with the black, the piano black and the gray interior. I think it's a nice touch. You got your home link, garage opener situation here, LED lighting there, like all your standard appointments here. So, you know, I'm not mad. This headliner is a darker kind of ash gray. To me, it's like probably a mid-toned gray. I want to point out this does look a little bit basic. Like, I feel like they could charge you like $50 more and give you like chrome accenting around those, because they look a little plain, but I appreciate that they put them on the door. So you're not like fumbling. The one thing that like Mercedes gets kudos for is that like you don't have to fumble around putting your hand down here to figure out, how do I adjust the seat? You can look over here. So you have a line of sight to the adjustments, and that's the advantage of luxury cars having the buttons here. These doors feel very solid. They do open electronically with this button. Here's a release though if you have a power outage or it's not working for some reason. So that's dope. When you close the door, it closes very solidly. You know you're in kind of a bank vault type situation. The last thing I'll point out in the interior is these seats feel really good. Like an American luxury car, you expect the seats to be comfortable, but they're more balanced than I would expect them to be. And so there's good bolstering, like 55-45 split, you know, honestly. The headrest is cushiony. And then you do have some storage down here. So they do afford you a little bit of that. And I love that this is not piano black. This is kind of a brushed plastic. Feels very solid. Close these up and get a more uniform, clean look. And so, yeah, this is the Lincoln Aviator. Right, and this does have a 10-speed automatic transmission. So I really like those numbers. Like, that is not too much power to pull out of a 3-liter V6 engine. Now, some might say it's kind of scary with Ford. And so in typical luxury car standard appointment or whatever, the hood does not come up very high, but you're not going to be doing too much here. You have your fluid reservoir over here. I have no idea what that is. This is your coolant reservoir, and this is going to be a longitudinally mounted engine. But like, once you take these covers and cladding off, you could probably get to some things and watch some YouTube videos and kind of get down to a little bit of work. But I get it. This is a luxury car. Most people are going to take this to the dealership to get service, but you can change the air box, which is cool. I don't know where the battery is, but it seems like the engine's kind of sitting down at an angle, which is not a surprise. Like, it's a twin turbo 3-liter V6, so it's gonna have an intercooler, it's gonna have some electronics and things to put out that amount of power. That is not a typical amount of power coming from a 3-liter V6. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you look at German manufacturers, they don't. I think the Porsche Panamera has a 3-liter V6 and it doesn't even have that kind of power output. So, you know, that might be a little bit scary for Lincoln. I don't know, the jury's out. This hood feels definitely aluminum. That is a surprising amount of power. I like that amount of power because you need that with this SUV. Your fuel economy is not gonna be great, but just get it serviced regularly and you should be fine.